Welcome back. I am joined now by Father David Thoreau, Vice President of Edmundite Mission at St. Michael's College. Father, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Lauren.
Your first reaction to really this historic first today?
Never thought it'd be an American. Everybody said it wouldn't be, and it was quite a surprise. Delightful surprise, but it was quite a surprise.
Yeah. You know, you get to think a little bit, this gentleman, as he walked out of the Sistine Chapel and had that private prayer we saw this afternoon, he woke up a cardinal and goes to bed a pope. Can you imagine, I wonder, what those few moments of solitude that he had to himself were about? Yeah,
one of the commenters today was saying, you know, it's quite a change that takes place because you're a cardinal in charge of a certain area, a small part of the church, and all of a sudden you're in charge of the whole church. And that's quite a change in terms of your perception of how you act and what you do, who you're responsible for. And it's quite a burden to bear in many ways that the Pope has now.
I wonder if there's almost a bit of a sadness about the people that you worked so closely with that you may not see anymore, because all of a sudden your life is now in Rome.
Yeah. On the way to the balcony, there's a place called, I can't remember exactly, but it's something of tears.
Wow.
The sadness that the Pope, in a sense, takes on himself in the burden that he's about to bear. But again, it is one of following Christ and one of giving his life for the sake of others. And I think we see that in every Pope that we've had, you know, that willingness to give their lives for the sake of others.
I heard a lot of people today use the word missionary.
Yeah.
In terms of the message that he briefly gave to the masses this afternoon, how do you think we can expect this pontiff to lead?
I think in many ways he's very similar to Pope Francis. He comes from a religious community. He's been a missionary. And he has engaged with people in a very different way perhaps than others have, coming from a strictly diocesan background. And I think he has that sense of connecting with people where the church might not otherwise be. And therefore he's open to those possibilities, as opposed to church as maintenance where, you know, you're just taking care of the church as it is. I think he's trying to lead people into the church. I mean, he uses the word bridge when he was talking to people when he went on the balcony today. And I think that's very similar to the idea that Francis had of accompaniment. Somehow reaching out to people who are other than the Catholic Church to be a bridge for them to engage with the church, not in judgment, but in welcome.
He has spent some time in Peru and of course in Rome recently, but you know, we are all trying to still absorb that this gentleman is a native of Chicago here. I wonder, realizing that, you know, Catholicism in the United States is different than in other parts of the world. Him being, you know, a cardinal and him being a priest in the United States, does that offer, you know, particular insight into the challenges Catholics in this country face?
I mean, he comes out of the United States, but he has been involved in Peru for so long now. He's been involved in a very global church for so long now, that while he has, in a sense, a memory of the roots where he came from, I think he has much more of a global perspective than we perhaps appreciate. As Americans, very often we think that the church should be like us. And I think he's, in a sense, moved beyond that because of his experiences in Peru and elsewhere in the world, getting to know all the bishops of the world, whom he was in charge of in many ways. Yeah. So, I mean, I think he has a much broader perspective, without forgetting his American roots, obviously.
Father David, I really appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. Glad to have you.